Hello, this is Daniel Isenberg speaking. I apologize that I can't make it to the board meeting of the National Observatory. My travel schedule is a brutal one, and the relevant part of that is that I just returned from Denmark, where we have two projects, one to foster high growth in the welfare or healthcare technology industry in Denmark. And the second project is to do the same with the design industry. As you know, Danish design is quite famous, but most of the firms are very small. That brings me to the point that I'd like to emphasize with the National Observatory. Entrepreneurship means many different things to different people, but I think the useful definition of entrepreneurship involves growth as a central theme. Entrepreneurs have to grow. If they don't grow or don't aspire to grow and to growth and to rapid growth relatively, then they're not really entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is not just about owning a company or self-employment. It's about striving and actually achieving the creation of extraordinary value in the marketplace, specifically for customers and sometimes for shareholders as well. So I want to encourage the National Observatory to develop programs that will measure and reflect the firms that are growing in Mexico. I think this is where the large majority of the economic and social value creation is. And that doesn't mean necessarily technology or innovation. All kinds of firms can grow, and all kinds of firms in basic industries can use technology, can use innovation. In fact, if they don't, they're probably not going to be competitive, not for the long run. So I urge you to take a look at the Scale Up UK report. It's a very interesting example, and it's a unique example of how policymakers are starting to put growth at the heart of the dialogue around entrepreneurship. So that's point number one. It's a practical suggestion. The second practical suggestion is that as a result of all the projects that we've been doing in Colombia, and I invite you to visit Manizales Mas if you have a chance, or I think you should actually make the chance, or visit Scale Up Milwaukee in Wisconsin. Both of these projects illustrate how it's possible to galvanize an entire ecosystem around the process of entrepreneurial growth. So the third practical suggestion that I have is to try to organize a team to come to Babson on May 11th. We've created a 3-day program. It's an open program called Driving Economic Growth Through Entrepreneurship Ecosystems. The first cohort we had was 30 people, 30 leaders actually, public and private sector leaders from 12 different countries, including Denmark, England, Scotland, the Netherlands, Finland, countries and kingdoms in the Middle East. We had from Colombia and from Ecuador. We had, of course, from the United States as well as Canada. And it was an exciting program. Every single one of the participants, and some of these are very experienced people, every single one of the participants left with unique insights, excitement, and I'd say to some extent inspiration for taking practical steps back home. I think we succeeded in correcting some of the myths about entrepreneurship ecosystems and entrepreneurship policy. And I think we also provided some practical examples of how policymakers, public officials, professional bureaucrats, and of course private sector leaders, foundation heads, university heads, how they can actually make practical change and start or accelerate growth in regions in a very, very short period of time, which is what we've been showing in Milwaukee, in Denmark, and in Colombia. So I've already spoken longer than I intended to. I wish you all the best of luck. I'll talk with Fermin and with Giuliano after the board meeting and see what I can do to help. And thank you very much and good luck.